Hello and welcome to today's video. I have another project pan intro today. Today is the 11 favorites in 2021. This was started by Denise from Instagram. Her handle is Just the Makeup Pans. I'll have all her information listed in the description box. But this was technically a project that they did last year, and it was 20 favorites in 2020, and it was a rolling 20 pan project pan. I didn't know about that project pan before I started my other ones last year, or I might have tried it. Although in hindsight, I admit I probably wouldn't have done a very good job with a rolling 20 pan. I think I would have felt very overwhelmed. But this year, when she said 11 items and rolling, I can do that. So we're gonna go over the 11 items that I'm gonna roll into this project. I'm actually really excited. In 2020, I did work on 20 items, but 11 favorites this year sound like a lot of fun. I used that project last year to kind of work on items that I wanted to get out of my collection. So this year I have picked some really good favorites that I really wanna show some love. So why don't we go ahead and get into it. Okay, as we get started, I have 4 items that are not makeup items that I want to put in this project that are legitimate favorites, but I have a really bad habit of not putting them on projects and not finishing them on their own because they are favorites. I kind of hoard them. So this year I'm going to try to change that a little bit, and I have, like I said, 4 non-makeup items to work on in this project, and then I have 7 makeup items to work on. So I'll go ahead and show you my non-makeup items first. Now, I forgot to mark these before I sat down, and the sun is literally about to go down, so I'm going to go ahead and film, and I'll have to insert some photos of where my starting marks are here, but I can estimate. I believe that this thing is probably somewhere in here. I'll have to get a really strong light later and shine it through it to see if I can see through it. It might be opaque packaging, but I know if I tap here, I can hear, but if I tap here, it sounds like I might be hitting some lotion. So somewhere in the middle of this little label is the starting mark for this guy. This is just a lotion from Bath & Body Works. I love this scent. It's the like wintertime vanilla bean scent. It's such a good scent for like wintertime, especially. Like I just think about overeating at the holidays. So naturally, like a vanilla dessert kind of scent is one that I kind of hoard. So I'm gonna try to finish this guy. And then I also have its partner here in the fragrance form, and this guy you can see where I'm at. I'm kind of at the bottom of that tag there, and I will mark on this too, and we will try to use this up. I do think that I'll probably use the lotion up before this, but hopefully in the next month to 2 months. I'm not quite sure if I'm gonna update this project monthly or if I'm gonna do it every 2 months. I might let my progress dictate that, but for now, I do think I'll finish this before this one, but I'm gonna try my darndest to kind of get these out because I have a couple different lotions and fragrances that I need to finish this year. Okay, the next 2 items, technically I don't really classify as makeup, although maybe some people might classify these as makeup items. This here is a lip exfoliator from e.l.f., and if I hold this up, it's pretty much almost as tall as the cap is. I know it's gonna be harder to mark on black packaging, so maybe I can get some nail polish and put like a little marking up top, but I would like to use this up slowly this year. This is a tricky product for me because I know that if I like overused it, I could probably go through this in about 3 months, but I also don't want to just use it to use it up. Like I would like to get back in the routine of like exfoliating my lips better when I want to wear bold lips, or if I'm honest, when they look a little crusty and I just decide to slap some lipstick over it anyways, or a gloss. So I want to get in the habit of using this, but I think I would like to have this used up in like the 5-6 month mark, not necessarily like 3 or 4. So this one I would like to finish completely. And then this is a lip oil from Nooni, and it's beautiful. I just got it sent to me. It was a really sweet gift from a friend, and I fell in love with this product super fast. I mean, it's already showing some use, and I do think that I can finish this pretty quickly, but I also want to try to use this like more in the mornings and at night, like as a lip conditioning kind of item. And then I want to in the daytime use another product that you'll see. So what am I trying to say? I think what I'm trying to say is that if this were the only kind of lip oil or lip gloss item that I was using, I know I could work through this in a matter of a month, but seeing as how I have another product in this very project that I'm going to be working on, I hope that this maybe can stretch out like 2 or 3 months, if that makes sense, because I would like to have more progress on the other item. And since I'm already mentioning in that item, I'll go ahead and show it to you. This is my Sexy Mother Pucker lip gloss in the shade Plums Up, I think it says. It's kind of small and I can't really see because the light in front of me is kind of blinding me. But hopefully you'll be able to see that I have a little bit of wear in here, but this kind of tube is pretty large. And I haven't used up a tube of this before, a full tube. I've used up minis, and the minis take me a good bit of time. So I'm I'm expecting that this will take several months to finish. I'm gonna work so hard to get this done because I have a couple other glosses this year that I also like to finish. So this is gonna be quite the task. I think it'll be pretty difficult to use, but it is a good gloss. It is something that I don't mind using. So this is something that I would like to use a lot during the day. This is the thing that I would hope to reapply more than the lip oil. And the lip oil I would like to use like once or twice a day, hopefully. But this needs to be my daily driver because I need to get it gone quickly. Okay, so I'm just kind of pulling randomly from the items I have sitting over here, but the next one I picked up is my Covergirl Healthy Elixir Foundation. This thing is super old. They've discontinued this a while ago now. I believe it was like discontinued like maybe a year and a half ago, and hopefully you can see that I'm right here. I will mark this bottle, but my goal is going to be to finish this up. This is getting to be pretty old in my collection. It does have 20 SPF in it, which I know is definitely expired now, but I don't rely on that SPF, so it still smells fine. I actually am wearing it today, and I forgot how much I like this foundation. So I definitely want to use this up this year and work on getting my foundation numbers down because as you'll see in an upcoming makeup inventory video, that part of my collection still needs a lot of work. Okay, next up I have an eyebrow pencil from Benefit. This is the goof proof one. It's kind of got that teardrop shape, and I'm definitely can tell that this is going to take me a little bit more time to use up. I think I used up the Precisely My Brow, the like really teeny tiny one that's used for like drawing in more like hair-like kind of strokes. That one I used up in about 2 or 3 months. This one has a lot more product in it, and so I do think that this one might take at least half a year to use up. I'm wearing it today. It's very pigmented, and a little bit goes a long way. I can kind of blend it out in the tail of my brows, so this one will take me a while, but I will also try to mark this on some paper too. Okay, my next item, I admit that I'm kind of stretching the favorite theme just a little bit. This is a little Tarte face palette that I got a couple years ago, like maybe 3 or 4 years ago now. And it had like a blush over here. I worked on hitting pan in this blush last year in my year-long project pan. And I used like some of the powders. 2 of the powders were shimmers and they were awful, and I scraped them out and put them into body lotion. One of them was like a decent bronzer shade, and so I ended up mixing it into another bronzer when I repressed it. But this guy is one of the only eyeshadows left, and I find that this shadow is decent, but what I really love this shadow for is filling in my hairline. So to clarify, I don't really love this product, but I love the technique, and I would like to kind of finish this pan of eyeshadow up but using it in my hairline like I'm using it today. So hopefully you don't think that's too much of a cheat, but I would like to finish this entire pan up by the end of the year. I really don't know if that's doable, but I'm gonna try really, really hard to do that. Okay, so my next product is coming from an Anastasia Glow Kit in the shade Sugar, and last year in my 20 and 2020 project pan, I tried to hit pan on this shade down here in Starburst. Hopefully you can see that nice pan. It took me a really long time to hit that pan, and I picked this shade last year specifically because it was my least favorite shade in this palette last year. It was the one that kind of felt uncomfortable to wear. It looked a little bit icy. I wasn't really aware of like how to wear pink icy highlights that well, and so I made it a point to try to learn how to wear that last year. Now this shade here in Gumdrop, this one you can tell already has like a nice dip going on because it is my favorite shade. So I thought, why not put it in this project this year? It's a favorite project, right? So I'm gonna try to hit pan on this shade. Now I know from hitting pan on this one that it's super dang deep, and while this one has a good dip in it, it will take me at least probably a couple months to use it unless I just really am into this highlight over the next month. But I would like to have 2 pans in this palette by the end of the year, so I'm gonna try to reach for this one until I can hit pan on it. Okay, we're down to our last 2 items. This here is the Stay Matte by Rimmel powder. It's a pressed powder. I ended up trying this for the first time in the past year and a half or so, and I really quite like it. Now, it is pretty finely milled to be like a Rimmel powder. It's definitely more lightweight than some of my other powders, and there's a ton in this like little compact here. I think what I'm gonna make my goal though is to hit pan, and then I wanna try to work on some other powders in my collection this year. So if I tried to finish this, I'd probably be working on it the entire year. So I'd like to kind of get some other use out of some other powders. So instead of using this one all the way up, I'm just gonna try to hit pan on this one. All right, my last item was one that I went back and forth between my Benefit Hula little mini guy that I have, and I have a ton of progress on that one already, but it's so tiny and it doesn't take up a lot of space. This one takes up a ton of space. You can see how bulky this packaging is, and I do really like baked bronzers, so I decided, you know what, it's still, even though I don't know which one, I think I might like the Hoola one just a little bit better. This one's still a nice bronzer, and I would consider it a favorite in my collection. I think I consider all my bronzers in my collection favorites, but that's just me. So this one is one that I would like to finish up this year because I would really like to get this packaging done with. It's definitely just too bulky and takes up too much space. I have a little bit of wear in it. As you can see, there's a little bit of a dip, but I really, like I said for the 20th time already, I really want to get this done this year. So fingers crossed. I don't know if that's realistic or not, but I'm gonna try really hard. And with that being said, that is everything. Make sure you let me know in the comments if you're doing this project or if you're doing something similar. I'd love to go watch your video. Make sure you say hello, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.